How can we finally work out, spend time with the people we love, save money, and invest in our dreams and goals consistently enough to actually see our lives changing? Well, it took me 37 days to read a book that promises to have an easy and proven way to build good habits and break bad ones. In this video, I'm going to summarize this book into 4 practical lessons, and by the way, you are going to learn a trick to beat procrastination. So let's get right into it. Okay, we have 2 people. One is Mike and one is Barry. Both Mike and Barry have the same goals. They want to work out more, spend time with the people they love, and they are students, so they want to get straight A's. Mike starts with, I need to study more. I need to start going to the gym. I need to start calling my mom more. But Barry starts by saying, I'm someone who cares about my family, so let me prove that to myself by calling my mom. I'm someone who is an active learner and who invests in their dreams, so I'm going to prove it to myself by studying with every free time I have. I want to be an athletic person, so I'm going to exercise to be more healthier and fit. According to James Clear, you should be more like Barry and start with your identity. According to James Clear, there are 3 levels of behavior change. The deepest is identity, the next is process, which is the habits, and then the last is result. According to James Clear, we shouldn't focus firstly on the results but on the identity. So you can take a sheet of paper, pause the video, and ask yourself which habits you want and which type of person probably would stick with those habits, and then try to prove to yourself with daily habits that you want to be like that person. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to try every day to prove to yourself that you're the kind of person who will reach your dreams and goals. A common experience we all have is sometimes we are focused doing something and then we see our phone and we so badly want to get rid of the boredom, so we grab our phone and then we scroll and then we actually are not bored anymore, but later we feel guilt. According to James Clear, every habit we have, including the habit of randomly doom scrolling, follows 4 stages. The first is the cue. The cue is something you see that triggers a craving. For example, you saw your phone and you craved curing your boredom. The second, already mentioned, is the craving, which is the desire, the hunger. For example, in this case, you wanted to cure your boredom. And then after the craving, there's a response, which is the habit. In this case, scrolling. And then you get your reward, which motivates you to do it again. In this case, you actually did cure your boredom, even if for a specific period of time. So what we are going to do in these 4 lessons is to hijack each step in the 4 stages of every behavior to build good habits and break bad ones. Also, it's in the 3rd lesson you will learn how to beat procrastination, so stay tuned. What if every morning you had your toothbrush hidden under your bed? Do you think every morning you would remember to brush your teeth? No, seeing your brush reminds you to brush your teeth every morning. So the advice from James Clear is to try to flood your environment with the cues of the habits you want. For example, if you want to drink more water, fill up a bottle of water and put it by the side of your bed. If you want to read more, put a book on your desk. If you want to work out more, put a shoe in your room. If you want to journal, leave your diary or your journal on your desk as well. Also, do you expect to see a cigarette and a lighter in the room of a man who does not smoke? No. So don't put cues of habits you don't want in your environment, even if only for specific times where you want to stay focused. So the lesson is to design your environment by flooding it with the cues of habits you want and taking out the cues of the habits you don't want. An advice James Clear gives is to stack a habit next to something you always do. For example, every day you wake up, so you can decide every day after waking up, I will make my bed or I'll read 1 page of a book. And this is called habit stacking. So maybe every day you come from school if you're a student. So what will you do right after school? Decide that. Take a habit you do every day and then stack a habit you want after it. So lesson 1 is to design your environment and habit stacking. Okay, pause this video and write down your favorite song, your favorite TV show, a game you are playing, or your favorite activity. Pause the video and write it down. Now, James Clear's advice is basically take a habit you want, and every time right after performing that habit, do something you love doing, maybe listening to that music or playing 1 level of that game. So for example, if you're a student, you study for 30 minutes and then you spend 5 minutes listening to your favorite song. This makes your habit more attractive. And remember the phone thing, where you look at the phone and you crave curing your boredom. Now, if you keep doing this consistently enough, it will reach a point where maybe if you're a student, you look at your book and you crave listening to your favorite song, because you know if you study for 25 minutes, you give yourself 5 minutes listening to your favorite song. One advice James Clear also gives is to grab a sheet of paper, write down the habits you want, and then right next to those habits, write what would be the positive effects if you were able to stick with those habits over a period of time. Also, write down the habits you don't want or the bad habits you have right now, and then right next to them, write the negative effect those bad habits have on your life, and then the positive effects they would have on your life if you were able to break those habits. And every time you want a reason to continue on your journey of self-improvement, you can grab that sheet and look at it. Now, finally, how do you beat procrastination? So we all have that one thing, or maybe even two things that we've been procrastinating for so long. Maybe it's working on that one dream you have, or doing that one assignment, or studying that one topic. So if you've been procrastinating for that long, don't you think it would be better if you did just a little bit of it today? James Clear's advice is basically set a 2-minute timer. Don't try to make it 3 minutes because you think you can continue. Just 2 minutes. Set a 2-minute timer. Perform that habit for 2 minutes. After the 2 minutes, close it and come back tomorrow. Try to do that consistently for say 5 days. If you're able to do it consistently for 5 days, now up the time to say 5 minutes, and then try to do it for 5 more days. If 5 minutes is not enough and you've been able to do it for 5 more days, up the time to 10 minutes, and then you just keep that cycle. You can increase it to your pace, but try to increase it just slightly to help you to not feel like you're about to put in so much effort anytime you want to show up for yourself and perform your habit. So this is called the 2-minute rule. So take one action point from this section and write down one thing you want to use the 2-minute rule for to try to help beat procrastination. And maybe right after watching this video, set a 2-minute timer and perform that habit. Now the fourth lesson is to track your habits. Anyhow you want to track your habits. But James Clear has this habit tracker on his website. The link is on the screen that you can visit to download and print his habit tracker. Now, why would you want to track your habits? First of all, one thing that a lot of people in the self-improvement field struggle with is self-confidence. So what a habit tracker will allow you to do is to see how much work you've been putting into improving yourself and your habits, which can give you a sense of confidence. But not just that, it also allows you to see your weak points. As you can see, I've been struggling with my journaling consistency. So now I've decided every time I eat my breakfast, which is of course a more fun experience, I will journal while eating my breakfast. So find a way of tracking your habits that works for you, that will allow you to see your progress over a period of time and your weaknesses. So that, for example, you can apply the lessons in these videos to try to be more consistent in those habits. A bonus tip James Clear gives in the advanced tactics part of his book is that when your habits start to feel a little bit too repetitive and you are getting bored, challenge yourself, fall in love with boredom, and try to keep up with the habits. Because it's hard to underestimate the value your good habits could give you if you repeat them over a long period of time. So this is my practical summary of Atomic Habits. At the recording of this video, I have 9 subscribers. So if you really like this video, please consider being my 10th subscriber. Also, if you learned anything new, consider liking.